On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
If you went on a road trip and you didn't stop for a Big Mac or drop a crispy fry between the car seats or use your McDonald's bag as a placemat, then that wasn't a road trip. It was just a really long drive. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's.
Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 110,000 bonus miles for a limited time through July 16th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends 7/16/25.
Welcome to the HCI family of podcasts. We're your source for personal, professional, and organizational growth and development. We share our own original research, explore industry trends, and interview executives and thought leaders from across the globe. Join us for practitioner-oriented content around all things leadership, HR, talent management, organizational development, and change management. Maximize your personal and organizational potential with the HCI family of podcasts. Mosongo Moukwa, welcome to this conversation today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, John.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be with you. You're joining us from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I'm south of Salt Lake City in Utah. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of small moments that build confidence in our lives, in our careers. I think we all know that, there are the aggregate of our lives are built upon all these small little moments, but a lot of times we focus on the big moments. We focus on the big pivotal, decisions that certainly are important. But, we're going to unpack the small things that also matter. Sometimes I hear about, the analogy to, taking a flight from one point to another and, being off even just 1 degree, if I'm flying from here, Salt Lake City to Chapel Hill, if I'm just 1 degree off, then I end up somewhere completely different, right? That small little difference makes a big impact. And the same applies to all of the little decisions that we make, all of the small little moments that happen to us each and every day in our lives. And so, sometimes we get overwhelmed by the big decisions, by the big moments, and we forget that it's even just the little things that really do matter. And so we should live in the moment. We should pay attention to what's happening to us in the here and now, and be mindful and present with what's happening to us. So this is what we're going to explore and discuss together today. As we get started, I wanted to share
With a Venmo debit card, you can Venmo more than just your friends. You can use your balance in so many ways. You can Venmo everything. Need gas? You can Venmo this. How about snacks? You can Venmo that. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit venmo.me/debit to learn more.
You can Venmo this, or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo this, or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo.
The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at polestar.com.
Mosongo's bio with everybody. Over his 30-year career in senior leadership positions in R&D and operations with global companies, Mosongo Moukwa, PhD, has helped solve the world's most important innovation challenges. His transformational leadership style has left a legacy of increased profitability and growth at some of the world's top brands, including as Vice President of Global Technology at SG Johnson, Vice President of Global Technology at Rightcold, and Vice President of Technology at Asian Paints. He is currently President at Hathaway Advanced Materials. He is the author of bestseller, Be a Leader of Significance. I could go on. There's so much about you in your storied career. You've accomplished so much, but I'm going to pause there. Anything you would like to highlight by way of your background or personal context before we go on further?
Yes. First of all, thank you, John, to have me on your show. And you said it. You said it well there. Actually, my journey. How did I get to this leadership area? So that's really an interesting one, because actually I came into it almost by accident. John, to your listeners. So I just finished my PhD, and I took a job with this specialty chemical company in Ohio. So I was excited to be part of the research and development division, and I was actually looking forward to settling into a career in the research. Not long after I started, the VP of R&D called me for a one-on-one meeting, and after a few jokes and so on, he told me, "Sir, well, we would like to make you a manager." So I was actually taken a bit aback, because that's really not what I had in mind. I was dreaming of developing new products, having intellectual property for the company, and so on. So I told him, I said, "Listen, I've never really managed people before." So he said, "No, don't worry, you'll be fine." So all of a sudden, I was a brand new manager with no management experience, and I have to figure things out. So, when I completed my research work at Northwestern, I expected to work in a lab and design, doing those things. But then all of a sudden, I'm in that position. I did not have any mentoring program or any type of executive coaching like you see today. But I must say that a few people helped me along the way, filling up those gaps. But I was more or less on my own. And then 1 year led to another year. So I learned. I became successful in managing effective organization. I took on different roles, and then I did extremely well there. So throughout everything, actually, I've never regretted being in a leadership role.
Yeah, yeah, super interesting. And I think that that's the case with a lot of leaders. I think a lot of leaders find themselves thrust into those positions. They find themselves in positions of authority and influence and leadership when that wasn't necessarily what they had planned. That wasn't necessarily what they had trained for, where they had seen themselves. You wanted to do research, and now all of a sudden you're leading teams. Now this all of a sudden you're leading people and you're leading an organization, and that's a an age-old story. I think lots of people who have areas of expertise and now they're leading people. Um, and that's part of the reason why, we see a lot of gaps in leadership because a lot of times we have people that have no training in leadership now leading people. And sometimes we get lucky and people, just have some natural ability. And other times we're not so lucky because people don't have that natural ability. And maybe they're just replicating what they've seen other people do. And that replication just perpetuates maybe bad behaviors or toxic behaviors or unhealthy behaviors, right? And so, the world of like leadership development is so important because it's just messy, and we have this context in most organizations where your situation is pretty normal. Like we just have a lot of people that have expertise, a lot of people that get thrust into positions when that wasn't necessarily their plan. So I appreciate you sharing your situation. And obviously it worked out for you though. And obviously you were successful and you were able to add value to your organizations. And so yours was a story of success and you were able to pass along those successes to others. So that's wonderful.
Yeah. And John, you mentioned earlier something that struck me, which was those small acts that I cannot remember exactly how you put it. And I agree with you. In fact, as a leader, there are so many junctures actually during the day when we meet people. We meet them at the coffee machine. We meet them in one-on-one. We meet them in meetings and so on. So you have those everyday junctions. Actually, those are opportunities that as a leader you can shape those junctions to be moments that really matter. So you can set the tone actually of the conversation rather than saying how is it going. You can say what would you like to do this month? What are some of the bright spots in your group? Is there any breakthrough there on some of your activities and so on? So we have really to take advantage of those moments to make them really moments that really matter. So that requires that obviously you as a leader, you have to be visible because people are not going to press something they don't or somebody they don't see. So that's certainly the truth. And then number two, you have to authentically connect with others. So so when they see the real you, that really strengthens the bond that you can have with them. They want to see you. It makes you. So, and then thirdly, you have to ask a powerful question that could put them in that reflective mode at those junctions. One of the things that I've learned in my career is that what really people are looking for is number one, the sense of belonging. I remember this chemist, a very bright individual, enjoys chemistry, and he had lots of invention for the company. And then one day by the coffee machine, I asked him, I said, what is it about our place of business that you love? Why do you like working here? So I was expecting him to tell me, oh, we are working on great chemistry, you're giving us great project and so on. What he told me, he said, no, what I enjoy here is actually during lunchtime, I can play ping pong with Joe. So he said, I really being able to play that with him during lunchtime because it gives me an opportunity to interact with him. So personal motivation can come from any angle. In his case, it was not really the money, even though he had a family to take care of, but really it was that sense of belonging, to be part of of a thoughtful and energetic group. That was something that was extremely important for him, because he was able to build the bonds with people, many of whom that he considered to be good friends. But the second one is that what people are looking for, they're looking for what psychologists are calling psychological safety.
Yeah.
So what maybe the way of illustrating that is years ago I had a young lady she was in marketing, and then she got transferred in my group, and as we get to know each other and feeling comfortable, she related to me that when she was in the marketing department, her boss in the beginning, she was invited in many meetings. He was getting her input and so on. And then over time, she was no longer invited in meetings. And then the rumor began to circulate that her job was not good and so on, and she was not really contributing and so on. Then my question to her was that, did you go and talk to your supervisor, your boss, and so on? Why is it that you are no longer invited in meetings? Well, she replied to me, she said, I did not feel safe to raise that question. And she added, she said, I felt extremely invisible in that group. So that psychological safety is really extremely important, that you as a leader, you need to create. In fact, it plays really a very powerful role in the science of failing, and that has been shown. It allows people to ask for help when they are over their head. He asks people to come and then talk about what they need, what they are going through, and so on. So you need to create that psychological safety. So really, that was an extremely important. The third one is that the employee, they would like to feel that they are valued. Mm-hmm. And what that means is that they want to. In fact, it's a fact of life, right? That and leadership, that when people are noticed, they know someone cares. I remember this manager many years ago. Actually, he's the one who reminded me about this particular interaction. He told me that I was working through the corridor, and then I happened to see him, and I told him, I said, "Hey, John, I just want to assure you that I did not forget about you. So I still have you in my mind." And then I walked away. So he told me that comment really had an impact with him, because he felt that at that time that I really care. And when people, they know that somebody cares, then they feel valued. And when they feel valued, they really believe that they are indeed part of something much, much bigger than themselves. So it's just human nature. We all want to be loved. We really want to belong. We all want to be seen, actually. So those are the three elements there that I could perhaps share with your listeners.
Yeah, I think those are three really, really important points. And connecting that back to how I introduced our conversation for today, none of those 3 points are like groundbreaking, huge things. It's not rocket science. Like, being an effective leader is doing the small things consistently over time. So if you just show up with your teams, with your people consistently, and do those small things and have those moments with your team, you will be more effective. 80-90% of what it means to be a good leader is just doing what you just said consistently, effectively, in those small moments, right? And there will be times where there's big disruption, where there's an emergency, where you have to come in and have like the big leadership moments, and you'll have to come in and do the big motivational speech, or there'll be those times that will happen. And that's that other 10, 15, 20% of the time. But like most of the time, being a good leader and connecting with your people and helping them to perform at their best and to achieve and be motivated and to perform at their highest potential. It's really just doing what you just said. It's developing trust, that psychological safety. It's helping them feel valued and a sense of belonging. And it happens through those small little moments. And I think that's something that sometimes we just miss because we think we have to like swing for the fences every time. We think we have to do these big, huge, grand gestures all the time, when really we just have to show up and be present and show people that we care genuinely about them, and that there's mutual accountability and trust there with them. And if we connect with them genuinely as human to human, that goes a really long way in establishing a good rapport and just having a positive environment where we can do good things together in our teams.
Yes, John, you said it very well, because you need to have what I like to say. You need to have as a leader that persistent curiosity about other people, because and you need to look at them. You need to look at individuals as people with their soul, and infinite value and dignity. So that means that you have to be receptive. You have to be generous. You have to because if you don't talk about little things, how are you going to talk about bigger issues? So that is extremely important. And that interaction there, what is it through those everyday juncture or one-on-one, I think it gives us also an ability to learn from stories of others, because the stories actually could be revealing, and they showcase things that are important to the individual. I remember I had years ago an exercise with one of the company where I had individual I put them in couples, one interviewing the other about what are those instances where they felt alive, whether it's personally or whether it's in the company, and they're asking the employee who was interviewing for him or her then to come to all of us, to the audience, and then relate what he or she heard from the interviewee. So that was extremely powerful, because it allowed people to talk about their stories, what really made them alive in a particular moment, whether it's company, whether it's in a personal life. And then that was for us now to learn about them. That was a very powerful exercise, I must say. It was a tremendous. It was tremendous, actually, because the way we have those brief conversation interview with another person, and we take note, and then we share them. So that helps frame also the conversation. So this is another thing that leaders actually could do as well, John.
Yeah, well, and you make a really good point, and I just realized something. I used to say, and as I reflect, I realize I haven't been saying it as much often, but I still believe it. It's still core to my philosophy, that as a leader, one of the foundational things you need to do, it's very simple, but you just have to like treat people with dignity and respect. That's a very low bar. Like that's a really foundational thing. But if you just start by just treating people with dignity and respect, so much of the other stuff takes care of itself. And it's amazing how often people don't get treated with dignity and respect. And when you're not treated with dignity and respect, of course, you're not going to feel valued. You're not going to feel like you have a sense of belonging. You're not going to feel a sense of trust, and you're not going to feel like you're going to give your all to your organization. You're not going to be committed. You're not going to be loyal. And if the other thing you just mentioned that I think, I just want to double click on for a minute is how important it is, those big moments, those are pivotal. Those are super important. The pendulum swings, the big things that are going to impact our businesses, those are huge. Those are really important. But we're never going to be able to respond to those well if we haven't first developed the relationships, the trust, the capacity to work with our teams effectively in the small moments first. Like if we don't have the ability to do that in the small moments, how can we ever think that we're going to be able to do that in the big moments? If people don't trust us in the day to day, if people don't feel like we genuinely care about them and that we treat them with dignity and respect in the small everyday interactions, how in the world do we expect for them to then all of a sudden, when we're experiencing a merger or an acquisition, or when we're, pivoting our some big strategic direction, or doing a new product launch, or like some big thing, like how do we expect them to buy into that and to trust us in those moments if we haven't earned their trust in the small moments? Like that sounds obvious, right? But it's amazing how often I see leaders like fall into that trap and then they're baffled. Like leaders just wonder, well, why don't they trust us? I'm like, well, you didn't earn the trust. You didn't earn the trust in the day to day and in the small moments. It should be obvious, but I guess it's not always obvious. Maybe we just need to remind ourselves of that.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, John, because it really comes down to leaders making the effort, to understand people at a deeper level than just saying, "Hey, what's up?" and so on. So that's really what it is. And this reminds me a line in Amanda Gorman, a poem on the hill we climb. She says something like, "For there is always light, if only we are brave enough to see it." Huh? So I thought that line really emphasizes the courage and the role of individual to embody hope and life and light. Sorry. So it also at the same time encapsulates the essence of leadership, in my view. So it tells us that leadership involves not just the recognition of potential and goodness of others, but also the personal commitment for the leader to be that source of light and inspiration for others. I always thought that's why on the cover of my book, which has been just incidental, that I have that light bulb there surrounded with those, the other bulbs, light bulbs, and the leader who's there has to be the light, that he or she has to lit up all the other light bulbs. So that's just something that just occurred to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So one other thing I'm thinking about, is I don't think anything we're saying here is like groundbreaking. It's kind of obvious, yet I think it's stuff that people need to be reminded about, and I think everything we're saying are things that I see people not doing all the time. So if it's so obvious, yet I see people not doing this all the time, and it's something that I think people just don't do consistently. Kind of like I think it's more common that this isn't happening than it is common that it is happening. It's more rare to not happen, right? Or it's more rare to happen than it is to not happen. And so if that's the case, why? That's my question. Why aren't people doing these simple little things if they really are pretty simple and if they really are so impactful? And as I think about that question, I think the main answer in my mind is probably one, consistency is hard. Anything that you're trying to do consistently is going to be hard, whether that's exercise, diet, getting a good night's sleep, anything like that. Anything consistently is hard. But two, so many leaders are just running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to put out fires every day, just trying to like keep the doors open, make payroll, just do all the things that need to happen for the business to run, that a lot of times they just let the simple little things fall through the cracks, and they just don't do those things. Does that sound right to you? And if that's the case,
no, it does, because actually leadership is a journey. It's a journey of growth and development. So us as a leader, we're actually going through that journey so we are developing and so on. It's also about learning, adapting, and honing your skills. So yes, it does take effort. it really calls for you as a leader to embrace a mindset that really sees human connection at the foundation, because that opens up actually more opportunities. People try to create this false dichotomy, like financial versus development of people. In reality, and that has been proven time and time and again, when the organization is fully engaged, the productivity is much, much, much higher. The people are there, they're happy, they come, they know they share the vision, they feel valued, they are producing more. Obviously, you can always get results by pressuring people and whatnot, threatening them and so on. But you will never be able to sustain that level of productivity and engagement. So you are, as a leader, because there are many leaders in my career I've seen, when they retire, nobody remembers them. Actually, nobody remembers them. They remember how vaguely and so on. But those leaders who really touch the heart and mind of their employees, people do remember them. So today, when I meet with the people who used to work with me, quite often we don't talk about the great products that we have done or which customer we were able to acquire, but they usually talk to me about their experiences, how that particular product, when we took it to manufacturing and whatnot, this fellow came up there without being asked, supported us, we got it done. I have that salesman who really introduced us to Next Fresh for this toner product and whatnot. I traveled with him 100 times. It was really great and so on. This is what people actually remember, because and it has affected them so much that actually they would like to relive it, and they would like to relive that experience again. So that's what people really are. I mean, nobody gets excited when you say we're going to increase market share by 10%. Nobody gets excited about that. But if you tell them, hey, innovation, we're going to do something here that's going to transformational, and whatnot, people they can visualize it. They feel like they are part of that particular journey and so on. So that's really important. Yeah. But it's been most of the time very false dichotomy. I cannot do this because we need to deliver the numbers. No. You'll deliver even higher numbers if your people are engaged.
Yeah. Well said. Well, Mosongo, this has just been a really great conversation. I know there's so much more we could say, but I also note the time and I need to let you go here in just a minute. Before we wrap things up, I just wanted to give you a chance to share with the audience how they can connect with you, find out more about your work, where they can find your book, and then give us a final word on the topic for today.
Yes, first of all, thank you, John, for having me. A great conversation. I'm sure we could have spoken for another hour or so. I can feel your passion on this topic, and I'm equally passionate about this topic. But I could be, currently I'm involved in a number of things. I'm actually also working on a second edition of another book that deals more with small business owners, how they can improve their financial and so on. But for your audience out there, they could find me on mosongomoukwa.coach. They could go there and look at that. They can see all my profile there. If they just want the first chapter of my book on leadership, they can go to mosongomoukwa.com, and there they can download a free chapter there. On the other website, they can actually download a book that I've written for small business owners. It's the full book is there for free download.
Wonderful.
And I'm on LinkedIn as well. People can reach me out there.
Excellent. Thank you again. It's been a real pleasure. I encourage the audience to reach out, to get connected, find out more about what Mosongo can do for you. And as always, I hope everyone can stay healthy and safe, that you can find meaning and purpose at work each and every day. And I hope you all have a great week.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the podcast. We hope you stay healthy and safe, and please join us again soon.